Social justice squatters have successfully converged the mainstream comic book industry with poisonous, radical ideology, driving down quality, driving up prices, driving down sales, and driving retailers out of business. A culture war rages between those who fight to force leftist propaganda into comic books at all costs and those who just want to be left alone to enjoy comic books as escapist literature. Yes, it's real, it's happening, and if you enjoy comic books, eventually you will be forced to take a side. This is ComicsGate, and any hint that you might oppose the leftist gatekeepers who are destroying comics, even that you might agree with 1% of what critics are suggesting, will mean you will be swarmed and driven from business. And yet, comic books are still meant to provide a living to many people, publishers, retailers, and creative professionals. Innovation is vital right now. Ideas from all sides should be examined to forge a new path for the future health and prosperity of this medium and industry. ComicsGate is offering ideas aplenty, from a complete change in how companies and professionals use social media, to crowdfunding and marketing techniques, to creating demand by limiting purchasing windows, and returning buyback policies for retailers on unsold copies of periodicals. And these are just a few of the ideas being discussed by ComicsGate professionals and voices on Twitter and YouTube. How can we create excitement and generate revenue in a business many have given up for dead, and take it back from the SJWs who have killed it, gutted it, and are currently wearing it as a skin suit and dancing around? We are making it work. Is anyone else listening? As it turns out, yeah. ALTERNA Comics joins a growing group of indie creatives who have retweeted ComicsGate hashtags and embraced ComicsGate professionals and customers while returning comics to inexpensive newsprint and lowering the cover price to $1.50. Didn't take long for SJWs to notice.
Holy smokes. Okay. Hey everybody, this is Peter Simeti from ALTERNA Comics. Thank you for joining tonight. I'm gonna start off the bat by... Man, my heart's pounding through my chest.
The ridiculous thing is that Peter Simeti doesn't even align with ComicsGate. He just wants the business of his customers that do. But SJWs gave him this implied choice. They said, either denounce a growing and loyal consumer base in a dying marketplace and submit to us, or you will endure endless harassment from us. We will target your employees, your suppliers, your distributors, and ultimately the retail community. I mean, think of it. Peter Simeti tweeted this out today. He said, sent out a retailer newsletter today and received back a disgusting and poorly written response from one of the shops on our mailing list. I'm beyond tired of this crap. I don't blame you, Peter. Imagine getting this back as an email. Hello. Given your company's support for racists and fascists, this store will not be stocking any of your products in the future. Please remove us from your mailing list. Outrageous. Peter's crime was retweeting a consumer-friendly hashtag, Move the Needle. He responds, I sure hope the store that sent me that awfully misguided email is making sure that they're running background checks and internet history checks before selling comic books to people. Wouldn't want to accidentally sell some comic books to racists and fascists. Unreal. Now what Simeti understands, and I suspect this shop knows too, is that ComicsGate isn't a group or a club. It's a philosophy. That the comic industry is suffering under the control of political extremism, just as it did in the 1950s. ComicsGate isn't any more racist than veganism is purple. Wanting good comics free from lectures given by self-insert NPC characters obsessed with hatred for moderates and Republicans can't possibly be anything but honorable. It's healthy. It's normal. And it's profitable. But profit isn't even the motive of these smirking gaslighters, these contemptible failures who tortured Peter Simeti this year. Listen to the effeminate, assaholic sarcasm these robots excrete. This is Mark Lombardi, I think formerly of Shadowline. Is Shadowline still a company? Does this guy still have a job? I don't really know. He's got a lot of time to tweet things like this. Golly gee willikers, my ComicsGate faithful. A bad man who owns a bad comic shop said he won't carry my very inexpensive newsprint comics because of my support of the racists and bigots of your hate group. And he's not the only one. Isn't that just terrible? And then this dude retweets, he posts a little meme there. I think it's Spanky from our gang. Hate group members, it says, and he's throwing money out the window. He's throwing money. These guys are absolutely overflowing with envy and jealousy over the fact that they're watching comic skaters make way more money in a single comic book than they'll probably make in their careers. And is that what this all comes down to? Is that what this is? Do you guys need a lesson in how to make comic books turn a profit? Because that's what we're trying to teach you idiots, and you're not listening. But no, SJWs did what SJWs do, which is to exert a form of social pressure, or terrorism, on Peter Simeti's creative staff, asking them if they support bigotry, if they support harassment. Why, if you're working with Peter Simeti, you must support the harassment of people of color and women. And under those circumstances, people who were working with Peter Simeti left very publicly and in a demoralizing way. The message was sent. Peter learned he had very few real friends. As the pressure grew, the far left-wing comics media joined in kicking. This is what an SJW swarm looks like. It's hard to understand what it feels like to be in this situation unless you are in this situation or have been in it. It's awful. Peter Simeti took a moment to tweet. The mental and physical toll that this is taking on me, my family, my friends, and everyone at ALTERNA and their families is not appreciated. I have been borderline suicidal from this. I'm doing my best, but this is forcing me into a situation that I do not want to be in. SJWs would be delighted to know that they drove him to thoughts of suicide for merely retweeting #MoveTheNeedle. Their only goal is to make you stop fighting and buy into their narrative. That's all they want. They don't need a public example of success that puts the lie to everything that they preach. And Peter did what he should have. He stepped away from social media for a little while just to recoup, just to see family and just remember that people weren't all SJWs. There are normal people in the world. They seem really big on the internet. They seem important on the internet. They seem like they have numbers, but the real world is still full of love and kindness, and we can overcome these people together, obviously. And people like Peter Simeti are going to help us do it. People like Peter Simeti and his great big heart and his good ideas.
There's people still coming after me. There's people that have their whole pages that are just full of vitriol and anger for me. They might even be in this room tonight looking at me and making fun of me, and they're going to use this video and they're going to tear me apart for being a human being. And that's their right. That's perfectly within their right to do that. But why do that?